Tonight, Ontario reports the highest COVID-19 case count in half a year.
I want to go to international travels, but it seems like we're going to stay in the city.
With cases rising, some people are adjusting their holiday plans, and at least one region is bringing back restrictions on social gatherings. Plus,
do not sleep on the Ticats. They come out fighting.
Ticats fans invade the Six. More on Hamilton's huge comeback over the Toronto Argos. And
hockey's the best game, and we just want to be able to provide it to more newcomer teams.
Why these teams are skating for 24 hours straight.
This is CBC Late Night News.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Shannon Martin. For the third day in a row, the province is reporting more than 1,000 COVID-19 cases. To be exact, tonight it's 1,184. That is the highest daily case count in the last 6 months. Talia Ricci begins our coverage tonight. With the holidays approaching, the hope is that those numbers don't continue to climb.
It's beginning to look a lot more like the holidays than it did at this time last year.
It's nice that we can actually get together this year. So at least everybody's vaccinated.
We still had like a night or two that we light candles. And usually we have Tim Hortons as like donuts for Hanukkah.
Christmas markets are bustling and holiday shoppers are lining up. But with COVID-19 cases rising in parts of the country, some are shifting their plans.
We want to go to international travels, but it seems like we're going to stay in the city.
Ontario said it plans to stick with a provincial limit of 25 people for indoor get-togethers. But Sunday, the Ontario region Windsor-Essex dropped its limit to 10. Quebec's cap is also 10. However, the Premier indicated he'd like to see it go up. His opposition criticized him for raising expectations as cases rise and we learn more about the Omicron variant.
Is it spreading to a level that is threatening? At the moment, perhaps not, but another week, 2 weeks, and around Christmas Day, it could be spreading very rapidly.
There's certainly steps we can do to make a safer indoor space, right? You can have vaccinated people, you can have better ventilation.
Experts say for now, canceling Christmas isn't necessary, but being cautious is. And that also includes measures like getting a booster if you're eligible and considering rapid tests for your guests.
Rapid tests, unfortunately, are not as widely available in Canada or as affordable in Canada as they should be, but they're also a very helpful tool.
In these next 10 days, if you get your booster, you'll be well protected for the holiday season.
While it might not be celebrations quite like 2019, for many, the return of scenes like this are enough to put them in the holiday spirit.
I'm so happy right now that I can see all the people are enjoying. Toronto is alive, and yeah, I've been waiting for this.
Talia Ricci, CBC News, Toronto.
As you heard Talia mention there, the Windsor-Essex County Health Unit will soon be re-implementing some restrictions starting this Friday. The region's medical officer of health says he's concerned cases could reach levels seen last year. So social gatherings there will be limited to 10 people indoors, 25 outdoors. There will be added measures for weddings as well as funerals and religious services. Indoor capacity at bars and restaurants there is also going down to 50%. And a COVID-19 outbreak means an East End Toronto elementary school will move to online learning starting tomorrow. Toronto Public Health recommending a whole school dismissal as a precaution to protect staff and students at Wilkinson Junior Public School. Officials say they've notified close contacts, asking them to stay home. They're also asking the school community to monitor for symptoms and get tested if needed. Meantime, students at McMurrick Junior Public School in Toronto are back in class tomorrow. Toronto Public Health had been investigating an outbreak there, but has given the school the all clear to return to in-person learning. Well, in other news tonight, friends of a missing Toronto man were out putting up posters asking for help, trying to find him. 26-year-old Raheem White was last seen on Wednesday. There is a lot of concern tonight for his safety. He's well known in the local art scene and a popular DJ. One of the organizers of today's efforts has been friends with White for years.
We're coming together as a community, as friends, as family, to spread awareness. We're going to businesses, we're walking the streets, we're asking people to put them up in their shops, to really stop and take a look at him, to just, spread that, we love him, we miss him, and we hope that we find him soon.
They say this is out of character for him. They're asking anyone with information to please contact police. Now, police have released this description. White is described as 6 feet, 190 pounds. He has tattoos of a palm tree on his left bicep and a rose on one shoulder. He was last seen wearing a black jacket, black pants, an orange toque, and a black backpack. The Hamilton Ticats are heading to the Grey Cup after quite the comeback against the Toronto Argos. Dale Manuktuk was there with fans from both sides for all the drama.
More than 21,000 people showed up for the latest chapter in a century-old rivalry, and Hamilton fans brought the heat from Steeltown.
Oski wee wee! Oski wee!
Argos fans were a little more mild.
How worried were you that Bethel Thompson wouldn't take the field?
I don't even know who that is.
He's the quarterback for the Argos. He was in COVID protocols. You a big Argos fan?
No, mediocre Argos fan at best, but we're out. We're able to do stuff. Argos! Yeah, I guess. Yes!
Keys to victory, you got to get the balls to the players, you got to run that ball into the end zone.
So obviously a ton of passion before the game, everyone fired up for the battle of the QEW, but if you know sports, all of that joy, all of that exuberance can turn on a dime. So we're going to check in with two fans throughout the game, one Argos, one Ticats, to see how their emotions are going and if that hope to get to the Grey Cup wavers at all.
2 for 2 so far today. Both of those were 10-yarders. This one 47, and it's good. And the Argos lead extends.
Got a good start so far, got on the board, good stuff, got to keep the pressure up, got to keep Hamilton off the board.
There's still a lot of football to be played. We're in the second quarter.
12-0 Argos, 12 points last 12 seconds in the CFL.
Over the middle, wide open, a completion to the end zone, touchdown, Jalen Atwood. We got a ball game. Let's go on.
And that's a touchdown. What did I say? Came back with fire at halftime. The game is tied 12-12.
Oh man, it's tight now, but we got him. We'll drive it right to the end zone.
Pressure coming, gets it away, far side of the field, and that one will fall.
27-16, Ticats are up. Keep it moving, boys. Let's go. Road to the Grey Cup. Let's go.
If we don't score in this drive, I don't think it's happening, boys.
So that's ball game, 27-19 Ticats. It was a hard-fought game, but it's like a Hollywood movie now. The Ticats will have a chance to win the Grey Cup after losing in 2019, but this time they'll be playing on their home field.
I bought my ticket 6 months ago knowing it was going to happen, so we're awesome.
1/8 the size, 4 times the heart, baby.
The hammer!
The Ticats will play the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in a rematch of the 2019 Grey Cup next Sunday at Tim Hortons Field. Dale Manuktuk, CBC News, Toronto.
Go, Cats, go!
Over the course of 24 hours, 10 teams and about 100 players are playing hockey. It's part of the second annual Big Shinny, organized by the Hockey for Youth Foundation. The goal to help raise $22,000 for more newcomer youth to be able to participate in free ice hockey programs.
Hockey is incredibly expensive. You know, it can cost $4,000 a year for an 11 to 17-year-old to play. And the kids we're working with don't have that kind of money. Their families don't have those resources. And, you know, providing them with a safe, inclusive environment is what we're trying to achieve. And hockey's the best game, and we just want to be able to provide it to more newcomer teens.
The event was organized in partnership with Canlan Sports at its York University facility. Hockey for Youth Foundation started back in 2013, and the final puck drop will be at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Sophia Cambalia is here now. Lucky they're playing hockey inside because of the weather out there. The football fans kind of had to brave a little bit of everything today.
Yeah, you could see a little bit of the flakes there. We had ice pellets. We had freezing rain in the Hamilton area as well. And downtown, similar story for any of the fans watching in person there. We're seeing a lot of heavy rain out right now. I'll show you the radar in a minute, but this is a really dynamic winter storm, a slow-moving system, a little bit of everything for the watches and the warnings right now. Snowfall, freezing rain, winter storm, special weather statement. We're starting to see that freezing rain warning area sort of dissipate and shrink right now. Still seeing some freezing rain as we speak towards the north and the east over to Ajax, but it's really the heavy rain pushing in. This is very, very heavy rain along the QEW right now, downtown core and into the Hamilton area as well. Still snowing up towards Parry Sound, but all of that will be rain within the next couple hours. It was very icy late into the dinner and early evening hours. Kitchener, Waterloo, Orangeville area and into Hamilton as well, as we mentioned. All of that replaced with up to 30 millimeters of rain, and then the temperatures will be very wonky, pinball effect over the next little while. Overnight, temperatures are actually warmer than our daytime high was today. Then as you head into Monday morning, balmy 10 degrees, but dress the kids for the freezing cold and the temperature plummet that'll be there into the evening and after school, along with the howling winds, which we'll talk about in the long range.
Yes, a little bit of everything. We'll see you in a little bit, Sophia.
See you soon.
To Ottawa now, where a brazen theft almost ruined a ceremony to honor Canada's fallen soldiers. Volunteers were stunned that someone had stolen thousands of wreaths made just for the occasion. But then they rolled up their sleeves and they got to work. Valeria Corey-Minocchio shows us what happened next.
Hand-decorated wreaths dot the rows of gravestones at Ottawa's National Military Cemetery, commemorating fallen veterans at a difficult time of year for military families.
Canada wouldn't be Canada without this.
It's a touching holiday tribute organized by a charity called Wreaths Across Canada.
The work never stops, so the military members are working constantly, and a lot of times they're away from home.
But this commemoration almost didn't happen like this. The charity planned to lay 6,000 wreaths this afternoon, but last weekend, nearly half were stolen from a shipping container about 75 kilometers southeast of Ottawa, a big blow to the small organization.
It was that kick in the teeth, and it was really painful.
But Saturday, volunteers stepped up, picking up hot glue guns and decorations to make thousands of wreaths in just one day. So today, people could place more than 4,000 decorations in the cemetery.
It's a testament to how the military community, both veterans' families, serving members, and allies, really believe in being together and being connected and doing something.
The Ontario Provincial Police are investigating. Meanwhile, Wreaths Across Canada is asking the public's help to locate the stolen pieces. McCarthy says the organization will take more safety precautions going forward.
Our sea can will be placed hopefully in a specific storage place or a military base or unit base, or even here where we have security.
And it's a beautiful community to be part of because we are resilient, and we are resilient because we help one another.
A community moment that fits the season. Valeria Corey-Minocchio, CBC News, Montreal.
A heads up for commuters tonight. Metrolink says train service is being impacted again. This time it's because Alstom, the company that operates GO trains, has started implementing its vaccine policy. 96% of those employees are fully vaccinated, but...
And even though it's a small number, it does result in several of our trips being canceled. But out of 500, we're expecting anywhere from 10 to 15 trips to be train trips to be canceled.
Workers who remain unvaccinated or who have not disclosed their status are on unpaid leave. The Barrie and Niagara trains will be replaced with bus service tomorrow morning. Metrolink says commuters should stay up to date on service changes. The TTC's Stuff the Bus Holiday Toy Drive took place in Etobicoke today. Employees and members of the public dropping off some toys that will be going to the Toronto Firefighters Toy Drive. Organizers say they're seeing a great response.
Oh, they have been very generous. People have been very giving and loving at this time of the year.
The bus is definitely stuffed. The drive will be held again next Sunday. It is supposed to be the season of giving, and while some charity organizations say donations are picking up again, others are still struggling. As Dahlia Ashry reports, the need is only growing.
Toys and clothes are lined up, ready to spread some holiday cheer for families in need. Holiday Helpers Canada is a charity whose mission is to provide a one-time Christmas package to low-income families. It saw a record number of donations and support last year during the pandemic.
Those low-income neighborhoods were really hit hard, and I think the Canadians, especially here in the GTA, realized that and wanted to help other people.
She says fundraising has slowed down a bit, and the number of volunteers at the warehouse has decreased as well.
People are still really cautious. They're coming into a space that's still close quarters. They're working with strangers potentially.
Others have had to create programs where they're no longer reliant on volunteers, or they switch to a digital offering.
CEO of Imagine Canada, Bruce McDonald, says several charities are still suffering as a result of the pandemic.
More Canadians are coming to them in their communities looking for service. So there's nothing to suggest yet that the demand has eased off. It's still going up.
Canada Help says last year they saw an increase in online donations because there weren't as many in-person fundraising events, but they still saw a 10% decrease in overall giving. This year, things are looking upwards again.
For Giving Tuesday, which is one of the biggest days of the year that was just completed just last week, we saw a 6% increase in giving over the previous year.
And Christmas kettles are making their mark in town again. Organizations like Salvation Army have had to think outside the box, creating COVID-friendly options as well.
Simply tap your Visa or your debit card and it's safe, secure, and that transaction is immediate.
Many still hopeful Canadians will continue to step up this holiday season.
If you have the means to give back to a family who might not have as much as you do, I think this is the opportunity to do it.
Dahlia Ashry, CBC News, Toronto.
To the U.S. now, where the parents of an accused school shooter spent their first full day in custody. Their arrest yesterday on charges of involuntary manslaughter is raising questions about who may be held responsible in future shootings. Katie Nicholson looks at that.
Friends and family comforted one another outside the visitation for 17-year-old Madison Baldwin, the first of the Michigan high school shooting victims to be laid to rest. While the community spent much of the weekend honoring the memories of these teenagers, police arrested the alleged gunman's parents, tracking them down in an abandoned art studio, charging them with involuntary manslaughter after they bought their son a gun as an early Christmas present.
Out of an abundance of caution, I have instructed our folks to treat them as if they're on suicide watch.
The school board has announced an independent investigation into the school's actions.
There were many warning signs that were either not acted upon or not acted upon properly.
This campus security expert says it appears police should have been called after staff noticed distressing behavior. Ethan Crumbly had been looking at ammunition on his phone while in class. Disturbing notes and drawings were later found at his desk. The school called his parents and tried to send him home after the notes were found, but his parents refused. He returned to class. That afternoon, the attack happened.
If kids weren't able to get their hands on guns, we wouldn't have school shootings like we had this week. When parents and gun owners fail to uphold this responsibility and tragedy results, there needs to be accountability like we're seeing here.
U.S. lawmakers are once again being urged to reform gun laws.
Maybe this shooting will bring people back to the table. I wish my Republican colleagues didn't sort of have epiphanies on this issue only after mass school shootings.
There is limited hope this may restart conversations about gun safety or start new ones about who can be held responsible. Though in this country, tragedy does not necessarily spark action. Katie Simpson, CBC News, Washington.
And you're looking live at Ottawa tonight, where there's a winter storm warning in effect. Coming up, Sophia will be back with your full forecast for the week. Stay with us. The Royal Ontario Museum is showcasing a new permanent gallery. It's called The Dawn of Life and looks at more than 4 billion years of evolution.
This display also showcases 250 specimens from Ontario, animals that lived in tropical ecosystems hundreds of million years ago, and shows an amazing diversity of life at that time.
The 10,000 square foot gallery has interactive elements and features almost 1,000 fossils. If you're planning to visit, the ROM is encouraging guests to purchase timed tickets in advance. All visitors 12 years and older must show proof of full vaccination to enter the museum. Carols stirring in the holiday cheer. The St. Michael's Choir drew a big crowd to their annual Christmas concert. This year, the elementary students sang at Young Dundas Square. Sophia is tracking all the latest with this big winter wallop and a messy commute tomorrow, it sounds like, eh?
Everything in the kitchen sink. Luckily, it will just be the rain tomorrow morning as opposed to what we had around the dinner hour today, which was a little bit of everything. A rainbow of colors here. We had the ice pellets, we had the freezing rain, we had the snow as well at one point, and now it's really going to be a story of the heavy rain, but it's the evening commute tomorrow that could be a little bit more dicey because all of that rain, we might have some pooling, ponding, and then flash freezing as the temperatures rapidly drop from Monday morning to Monday evening, right around the freezing mark. So things could be a little slippery, any of those wet pooling and ponding areas for Monday evening. It's along with a real howling wind. We mentioned it earlier, gusts 80, 90, even upwards of 90 kilometers an hour Monday evening. Even after this event has already passed, we're already seeing some upwards of 70, 75 kilometer an hour gusts downtown, already seeing some reports of power outages in East York. That's likely to continue. This is the kind of wind that can blow around debris, so watch out for that. It's also coming from the northwest, folks. You know what that means over the warmer lake waters? It means lake effect snow. It's back in action for Monday into Tuesday, so we could see the flakes flying yet again, along with the more good news, some of the coldest moderated Arctic air that we've seen so far this season. So it'll feel like the mid-minus double digits Monday overnight into Tuesday, along with that really cold northwest wind. And then I'm keeping my eye as well on a system for Wednesday. A Colorado low that, if it tracks north enough, could bring a little bit more snow, but have a look at the week at a glance. It really is a little bit of everything, as I said yesterday, except for a nice, bright, sunny day. Temperatures are all over the place, and there is more fun to continue on this ride that we are on together, Shannon.
We just have to hang on. That's the gist of it, I think.
Every turn in the corners.
Yes, that is our show for tonight. Thanks, Sophia, and thanks to all of you for watching. As we go, we want to leave you more from the St. Michael's Elementary Choir. We hope you have a great and safe night out there if you're heading out on the roads.